the hike in the kettlebell swing. Aside from the hinge, the hike is the first movement that you're going to do in the kettlebell swing. You will not do a hike in every single kettlebell swing. You will only do a hike when the kettlebell is starting from the floor. When you see people do continuous kettlebell swings, one after the other, they are not doing a hike every single time. The portion when the bell comes down here is called the back swing. That is not called the hike. The hike is simply when you're taking the kettlebell from the floor into the end of the back swing, which is right here. Okay, so I want you to remember that, because when I start talking about different parts of the kettlebell swing, I need you to be able to follow me. So the hike is when we take the kettlebell from the ground, our starting position, and we move it here. Next, I'm going to go through what needs to happen in the hike. What needs to happen in the hike? Honestly, not a lot. The bell needs to move and pretty much nothing else. When we are in the hike position, we're going to be in a really nice hinged position, and it's important to get the distance of the bell away from your body right. So when we start out, we can put both heels on either side of the handle and then just take really just kind of 2 baby steps back. So you'll notice there's maybe a foot of space in between my big toe and the bell. There really shouldn't be a lot more than that, because we want to be able to hinge back and then kind of just reach our arms forward and be able to reach the bell. What I don't want to see is you really reaching out to get to the bell. We don't want the arms overextended. Now, they don't need to be in a straight line like this, but you should be able to hinge backwards and then just kind of reach gently in front of you to get to the bell. The next part of the hike is developing tension. Yes, the bell is going to move, but we need to have some tension irradiating or going through our body before we move the bell. If we're just kind of like a floppy wet noodle and then we go to move the bell, a lot is going to move other than the bell. Our whole body will probably end up moving with the bell, and we don't want that. We want the hips to stay still, we want the back to stay still, and literally the bell is going to be the only thing that moves. So you've gotten your really good setup. You're going to reach forward for the bell, and I want you to tip it backwards towards you, okay? So you don't start with the bell flat on the ground. The bell needs to tip back towards you to start the hike. So you're down, reach forward, tip back towards you. Now you need to do your whole kind of setup where you exhale, let your low ribs come down, deep core come up. Make sure you haven't tucked anything under in the back, okay? So you've tipped the bell back, exhale, all the things for your core, etc., etc. Now, what I want you to do is go ahead and kind of grip the bell and think about breaking the handle this way. You're going to move your hands in this fashion, and what's going to happen is you're not going to break the handle. Don't worry, we haven't got that strong yet. But what we're going to do is be able to turn on our lats and keep our shoulders in a really nice fixed position. We don't want our shoulders doing this when we're getting ready to hike the bell. Now you have your whole setup perfected and you're getting ready to go. Where are you going? What are you doing? What is going to happen is the bell is going to go from the starting position tipped back, and it is going to go right in between your legs. I want your wrist to come straight to your crotch. I do not want your wrist at the level of your knees. Don't let me see it, okay? Hike means that the bell needs to come up and back. The bell does not only need to come back. If the bell comes back, I can promise you what's going to happen is this right here. And you're going to kind of round through your spine, and we don't want that. That's not the purpose of the kettlebell swing. So make sure when you get ready to hike that bell and you've gotten in your really nice starting position that your wrist come to your crotch first, okay? Back and up. The other important thing to remember along with back and up is that nothing else should really move. You might get a small amount of movement in your back and that's okay, but what we don't want to see is the whole entire body shift back as you go to hike the bell. We also don't want to see you dumping forward as you go to hike the bell. So essentially you're in this static position right here and the bell comes back, and then we're going to actually get into the powerful hip extension. We're going to go through some practice hikes in the next part of this series, so make sure you watch those and do give those practice hikes a try because they're going to help you to put together all of the components of the kettlebell swing really nicely. All right, I'll see you over there.